I'd like to call the meeting to order with the Pledge of Allegiance. The Pledge of Allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like everybody to please just stay standing. That along with a silence for remembrance of September 11th. You know, that day everybody remembers, you know, that our country was attacked and how everybody stood together, and our first responders went running in when people were running out to help and they lost their lives, so we should remember them. Thank you. Report to the executive session. Public comment.
Good afternoon.
Good.
I'm Norm Deal from St. Clair. Before I begin, there's an Act 1955 Act 130, Article 5, Section 509. It's ordinance and resolutions. The commissioners may adopt resolutions and ordinances prescribing commissioners may adopt resolutions and ordinances. Sorry, I read that twice. Prescribing the manner in which the powers of the county shall be carried out and generally regulating the affairs of the county. The commissioners may formulate and adopt ordinances, resolutions, and rules and regulations pertaining to the use of any property owned or used by the county, and the conduct of persons in, on, or about such county property, in order to preserve such property and to promote and preserve the public health, safety, and welfare. I extend my sincere gratitude for the time you have decided to give us today. Alongside Dr. Aaron Portland and numerous concerned individuals from St. Clair, I come before you to implore for assistance in addressing the landfill issue that is currently plaguing our beautiful town. The noxious fumes and air pollutants emanating from the site have wreaked havoc on the health and well-being of our residents. The symptoms are distressing. Raw, scratchy throats, stinging eyes, pounding headaches have become a daily affliction. The air has become so contaminated that even a simple leisurely walk has transformed into an unpleasant endeavor. The Department of Environmental Protection has frequent presence in our community due to the overwhelming number of complaints they receive from our suffering residents. As commissioners, I ask you to help safeguard, rehabilitate, and enhance the quality of life for all the inhabitants of the county. This issue extends far beyond the confines of St. Clair. It is encroaching upon neighboring areas such as Arnold's Addition, Port Carbon, Shanetown, New Philadelphia, Casca, and beyond. Schuylkill County, with its rich history, is at a risk of being marred as one of the least desirable places to reside due to the prevalence of landfills, especially the one in Blythe Township known as Brad's. We beseech your aid. We implore you to advocate for our well-being of our county's residents, and I plead with you to not only hear our words, but to truly comprehend the gravity of our pressing concern. With this, I will turn it over to Dr. Aaron Portland.
Good evening. My name is Dr. Aaron Portland, and I'm speaking tonight solely as a concerned citizen of Schuylkill County and as a resident of St. Clair. The Brad's landfill, located on Burma Road in Blythe Township near St. Clair, is owned by Waste Connections. Brad's is permitted by the DEP as a construction and demolition waste facility. Over 3 years, the St. Clair community has continuously lodged complaints to DEP regarding the uncontrolled hydrogen sulfide emissions from Brad's landfill. Research has established links between H2S exposure and increased mortality from lung cancer and respiratory diseases, particularly among children. Clearly, there is a heightened risk for all of us who live near landfills. On the evening of July 3rd, the Brad's landfill caught fire, releasing toxic smoke and gases. A chemical smoke plume was visible across town, dispersing hazardous pollutants, including cancer-causing substances like burning asbestos. This not only affected the air quality, but also potentially contaminated nearby land and waterways, including the Wolf Creek Reservoir, our primary water source, an impact that has yet to be fully investigated by the DEP or local officials. The approved truck route for Brad's landfill runs directly through St. Clair, sending large trucks speeding past local businesses, school bus stops, a playground, and residential neighborhoods. Importantly, the Burma Road, which is part of this route, also serves as a Schuylkill transportation system bus route. On August 9th, a tractor trailer owned by Twin Turbo Trucking Company en route to the Brad's landfills crashed. Thankfully, there were no fatalities, but this incident is not an isolated one. It's part of a deeply concerning pattern. Over a 12-month period, the Pennsylvania State Police have issued more than 300 serious violations associated with landfill trucks, including defective braking systems and drivers who are unlicensed and uninsured. I truly fear that without immediate action, a tragedy is inevitable. On August 30th, the Brad's landfill's gas scrubber system failed. A scrubber system is supposed to clean and treat the landfill gas, but even when it's operational, the odors persist. Without the scrubber system, harmful gases such as hydrogen sulfide, VOCs, and methane, a potent greenhouse gas, are released directly into the atmosphere, posing serious health risks and contributing to environmental degradation. It is our constitutional right to clean air, safe water, and a decent quality of life as guaranteed by the Pennsylvania Constitution. From the spreading of biosolids and sludge, to the growing number of landfills and proposed mega landfills, to increasing polluted drinking water affecting northern Schuylkill County and now Tamaqua, we are facing a full-blown health crisis. This is no longer just an environmental issue. This is a direct threat to the health and safety of every single person in Schuylkill County. On behalf of the citizens of St. Clair and in solidarity with all of my friends in the west end of Schuylkill County, I urge you to take swift and decisive action, exploring every possible avenue to ensure the immediate protection of our communities. I ask you that please to demand of DEP a thorough investigation into the landfill fire, the failed gas scrubber system, and the approval of hazardous waste truck routes. I ask you to communicate your opposition to both the renewal of the Brad's landfill permit and their application to double the tonnage received by the landfill. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Any other public comment?
Jeff Dunkel, Palo Alto. Any update on the Teresa Gaffney issue? Okay, so just for the people that are here tonight that haven't tuned in or know anything, she's the highest paid row office public official that's elected, probably around $65,000 or more a year. From January 1st to August 1st, she worked less than 60 hours in this building. She then came to a meeting publicly and claimed that she was on FMLA. Sad part is county officials that are elected can't receive FMLA. So that even if she was able to do that, she didn't meet the hours from the previous 12 months. And if she did, she can only get 480 hours. There's still 900 hours missing that she wasn't here for. So it's almost $1,000 a week of your taxpayers' money, hard-earned taxpayer money, that she gets for doing absolutely nothing, not even walking in the door. And she blatantly told everybody she was getting FMLA. But you can't receive it. So if she thought she was on it, she owes the taxpayers that money back. So again, I'm requesting that she pays that $12,000 back. Last week after the meeting, I had 8 employees either reach out to me or I ran into some of them. They all thanked me for sticking up for them. They also, every one of them told me that they agree wholeheartedly Mr. Kern and Mr. Bender should not be the two that they go to. And that retaliation in this building is still alive and well. So you take it for what it is. Obviously, I'm not going to give you names, Larry. We already talked about that. But these people, I get it. If they don't come to you, I get it. But it's rampant. So just remember that. I spoke with a municipal official. You're going to like this one. He told me that their municipality is now waiting over 2 years for distributions from tax sales. So all the distributions, when the sale goes through, they go to the school, the county, the lien holders, sewer authority, water authority. And then let's say you lose your property for $10,000 and they get in a bidding war, which they're doing anymore, and it goes for $20,000. You're entitled to that $10,000 overpayment. So these people are not only losing their properties, but then they might be owed money, and they're sitting on it. So over 2 years now, this municipality is waiting on it. Why aren't they being processed? When I go to these tax sales, number one, they need to be revamped. You can't keep these out-of-state people coming in the way they are. But you have municipalities like Shenandoah and Monterey City that have 20, 30, 40 properties. Think about all that money that's tied up, that school district. Then they have to raise taxes. The municipality has to raise taxes. It comes back on these people. So my question is, why are these distributions not being done? He told me 6 months ago he contacted somebody here, and they told him it was over $10 million total that the county's sitting on. That's a large amount of money that these municipalities and school districts and these people that are losing their properties might be able to use that overage to get another place, to get an apartment, to get something. This needs to be looked into. I mean, $10 million and over 2 years of not doing it. I know you're running in, Larry, but maybe that's something to look into. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comment?
Hi, my name is Brandy Eiler from Schuylkill Haven. I am a local small business owner and investor here where I grew up in Schuylkill County. Over the last 7 years, I've taken many dilapidated and condemned homes in our local towns, some of which we had squatters, drug dealers, and addicts in them, and turned them into beautiful homes for good, hard-working families. Not only increasing the property value of that home, but also maintaining and increasing neighboring homes by ridding the neighborhood of these dangerous eyesores. Lately, it has become basically impossible for small, self-funded investors like myself to purchase these properties at tax sale due to the increased amounts of non-locals buying up the properties at extreme prices, and then allowing them to sit and dilapidate even further until they're no longer even savable. I have an example of this exact thing happening two doors down from my house. An outside investor purchased the property for $2,500 at tax sale over 2 years ago, and I immediately offered him $15,000 cash for it, as I wanted it for my son, and he rejected that offer and wanted $38,000 for a very small half-double home that needed complete redone. That property has now sat untouched for 2 years. It is infested with rats. The roof is collapsing in. They don't maintain the grass. So in an effort to keep rodents out, all the neighbors have taken on maintaining the exterior lawn at our own expenses so that we don't get rodents in our homes. This is happening all over our county, in every single town. And local investors that actually have interest in our towns because we live here are extremely frustrated. I come here today on behalf of all local investors to request some sort of ordinance or regulations be put into place to further prevent this from happening to our homes and our towns, and possibly even some sort of timeline that they would have to repair the properties and make them livable again. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comment?
Evening.
Evening. Andy Kozlowski, Palo Alto, also staff representative for Aspen District Council 89, represent Local 1512, School County Courthouse employees that we represent, and other county employees throughout the courthouse agency, AG 911. So it's funny we bring up about tax claims. I was at a meeting the other day, and where it was stated by the county's representative HR that there's a thought of farming out the tax claims to, what is it? Elite Revenue Solutions LLC. Now, through all this, reading the document proposed, I asked how is this going to be paid? Was there a cost analysis done? Well, there's no cost analysis because according to HR, that Elite, how will Elite be paid? They will not be paid. Well, they have to be getting this money somewhere. Are they taking the money off the top before they give it back to the county? Or is it like God came down and said, I'll do it for you? But, you know, as hearing from Dunkel there, this issue's been going on for years, and it was proposed by the management of the Tax Claims Bureau to do this.
It was proposed in conjunction with their guidance, not just them by themselves.
Okay, so proposed in conjunction with guidance. So I understand Elite offered to keep the positions on. Our people will be retained at the same rate, no knowing what the manager will be paid. Were they incentivized to outsource this? But like I said, something costs something somewhere, rather than having something kept in-house in the county with county employees. It's just, it seems like there's not fluent enough answers. 11th hour email sent to me prior to this meeting with not being able to research how the success rate was in other counties. Everything looks good on paper until you speak to a resident of that county, an employee of that courthouse, an employee of their bureau. I think this is a hasty decision to try to fix problems that happen over the course of time, rather than looking at the problems when they occur. Letting things go until it's let's just get rid of it. I think it's an ill-informed decision that could be corrected in-house. I understand the county got $27,415,000 some odd dollars in ARP funds. Elite's promising that their systems are updated, be better off. Why were some of these ARP funds that were designed to help counties, municipalities, whoever received the streamlined procedures, make things better? Why wasn't that money invested in keeping the county up to date so they can keep up to date with the tax claims and everything else? I just think that our people are paying the price for the mismanagement of this county.
How many people? How many people are in the office?
There's 4 employees currently in the office.
How many would express an interest to stay with the union or go to the league revenue? How many?
They haven't been asked
Yes.
officially.
But how many?
3 out of the 4 wish to stay with the county.
And if they want to decide to stay with the county, they will be found a place in the county. So, one. Okay?
So you're guaranteeing a place in the county.
Yes, 100%. They will have a place in the county. So, one. If that person decides to, which we don't know for sure, if they will. But one. So, I just wanted to clarify, that's 4 things, but only one.
So 75% of our membership wants to stay with the county in that office.
Yep. They want to stay in the county position.
Correct.
Not in that office, but in the county position.
Correct.
There's not an issue. But they're
But
staying in a county position.
But I think also as a taxpayer, I would like to know how
Well, are you
at
here
least
as
we
a
pay.
representative or are you here as a tax?
Well, then I'll have somebody else ask as a taxpayer. But I'm here for the preservation of our bar unit work. Preservation, keep jobs in county, paid by the county, for the people of the county.
And you heard Mr. Dunkel talk about how the office needs to be reformed, and this is the best way to do it, that we can find.
Also, over the past 2 years, 2.5 years, the office also ran short due to people being out on suspension.
That was out of my, definitely out of my control.
And I understand that you're new to the game here as a commissioner,
So,
but working shorthanded doesn't show what the full scope of what are people's abilities to do.
already, pleased to a great job in the county. This is our decision to privatize that office, to straighten out the problems that are there, to move the office forward. And eventually, once it's straightened out, it can be rolled back into the county. There's nothing that stops it.
And we will make sure we keep a watchful eye on that. But I will have somebody else ask how it's getting sourced to do this.
If you would have read, were you provided the proposal? You were provided the proposal, so it has all that in it.
No, it just says, elite revenue will receive the fees established by the real estate tax sale law for managing the tax claim bureau as per the attached fee schedule, with no attachment.
That's it.
That's
What they
it,
get.
by Retzel. By Retzel. It's the fee schedule that's provided by, what is it, Retzel, right?
Mystery at the end.
So, okay. That's-
The county is not paying them anything. They keep the fees that the tax claim bureau currently receives.
So in essence, the county's not getting as much money in.
Well, the county won't be getting any of those fees, and the county will also won't have the expense of the audits. So, we're not paying them anything to do this. They're funding the operation out of the fees they receive under the,
Which
real
the
estate
fees
tax.
that the county would normally receive if it was kept in county, correct?
It's fees that the county receives now that go to the operation of the office. But the county will no longer have any expenses associated with doing this.
Alright. Doesn't make sense, but I guess it makes sense in your eyes, so. I'm just here in opposition of it, and I spoke my piece.
So I would say, make sure that after this, and I asked through all this whole process, that the union be apprised of this and the movement of it. Again, I just want to make sure that they're clear on everything of what's going on and the employees that are going to stay and so forth. And again, this come from a joint recommendation moving forward to try to get that workload. Yes, there was issues and there continues to be issues, but we got to get out of that hole. And this is one way that we can and can also fall back. But I did ask to make sure that they're apprised on it. I want to make sure moving forward that they are.
There was a meeting last Friday with this gentleman and the union representative for the county. They requested information which we provided to them. Most of it was answered by, just read the proposal to indicate what the terms of the arrangement are. So we did follow up with the information that they requested.
And once again, that should have been done prior to us taking an early vote on this. Naturally, the ordinance got to be voted on.
Right.
So that's all I'm asking, that they would be apprised of the movement, how it's working and so forth. I think that's a good working relationship
They have
that they try to do.
Right. They have
And so, and
We're told it's happening, and when asked, tell me what more was their cost analysis or anything else, he had a quick answer as to employees will be offered to stay on with Elite or possibly stay with the county, but there was no, how's we being paid, or they're not being paid. He said, I don't have the answers for that, maybe I should have been told that.
It's a good proposal. I don't know.
we asked them that before the meeting on Friday, and clearly said they're going to be compensated at the same compensation that they currently have now. Or whichever employees want to continue to work for the league.
I understand. I'm just saying that conversation between the county and also the union, that's all I'm stating.
Bear with me, I've done this before. Okay, so I am the union president, AFSCME, in the courthouse here. And I'd like to speak about tax claim being outsourced to Elite. There are many questions and concerns that I and many other people have regarding the issue. First of all, I only found out about it last Wednesday through the grapevine, walking through the hallway. Nothing was ever advised to me, no information was given to us, nothing. If I didn't have to drop something off, I would never even have found out. What is the cost to run the department in-house, and how much would it cost to outsource? Well, you said it's not going to cost anything for us to outsource, that they're going to be collecting the funds. Now, the fees. Those fees, have you figured out how much the fees were in previous years, and if that was more than what it cost to run the department? Were there extra fees that could have been given to the community, to the county? Because in all my years, the business, it's always been more cost effective to run in-house than outsource. Wouldn't it be more profitable to run in-house with additional staff that's needed and proper management. Granted, the tax claim needs help. They've been understaffed for years, and that's been even more since the managers that were put on suspension for 3 years, with one person stepping in trying to fill the position of 2 people at that time. They've recently returned from the suspension, and they're the ones that are advising the county that the department is inefficient and needs to be outsourced. The efficiency or the inefficiency of the department is the sole responsibility of the management team, and they themselves are stating they can't do it. Most of the experienced employees have left the department due to the management and are replaced by new employees, who are good, but experience comes with time. Overworked and underpaid is not a good mix. If Elite gets the contract, then current employees will be hired by Elite at the same rate. I'm told that the hiring rate of the county is the same that it's been for 15 to 20 years. So it's very low. Dunkin' Donuts and Walmart pay more than what we pay, even after a couple years of working here. You could work here for 10 years and still Dunkin' Donuts is paying more money. So most of the people at the courthouse work here for the good health insurance and the pension that the employees pay into each paycheck. It's not for free, we pay into that. Both those will be taken away from the current employees. They'll come to the same location, perform the same job for the same small wages, and lose the good health insurance and the pension. Elite will also be hiring the 2 managers under their company. Are they going to be getting paid the same, or are they going to be getting an increase? An increase in pay is a very good incentive to try to outsource the department, because it seems strange that the 2 managers who in the past were able to run the department previously themselves stated they can no longer do it themselves and need someone else to oversee them. What are the avenues that have been explored to fix the tax claim department? Have you thought of additional full-time employees that have been desperately needed for years, additional space for tax claim to grow, and replacing the management team? That's all I have to say.
Any other public
Go
comment?
Union.
Well, while the union's here, I want to clarify something, because you brought something up about, and you probably have you be the one that wanted to think. You negotiate the union contract,
I did not negotiate this past contract.
but the union negotiates the contracts in conjunction with the county.
Correct.
Am I correct? And you agree on what starting salaries are and what benefits people get and all that. Am I correct in this?
You are correct with that, however, I do not know what the county is proposing in turn.
Okay, but I'm just saying, isn't that how the process works?
Correct, that's how the process works.
Okay.
It also depends on what the county proposes from the county.
And then use counter, and it's a negotiation.
Correct.
And as far as I know, the last negotiations were settled by the union and the county. So those starting rates are negotiated by the union also. It's not just the county. I just want to make sure it's clear. The county just doesn't say, hey, we're starting everybody at this salary when they're in the union. Okay. That's just one of the questions for me.
And I also want to bring up that the members of tax claim would like to stay in tax claim, but they want to be part of the county for the health insurance and for the pension and everything else. The only way that they could stay in the county is if they bump somebody else out of their position. So they want to stay in tax
We
claim,
heard from Mr. Gordon that he guaranteed the job in the county, so.
Yeah.
but they'd like to stay in tax claim.
We'll make sure if they want to stay in the county that they're in a position, whoever decides to stay. Because as of right now, it can be 1 or 2 that would go through that are union members. Because I know not everybody in the office is union members. I think I'm correct. So,
Yes.
okay, thank you. Any other public comment?
Melinda Diver, North Manheim Township. Thank you, everyone, for attending this evening meeting. Great to see all of the public participation tonight. Also glad to see that DEP is climbing down from their gilded throne to have a meeting with the homeowners out in the west end of this county. Dear Lord, it was 5 months ago that DEP met with the commissioners, and all three of you, well, I don't know, maybe Boots was on vacation then, I can't remember. But was said that you had a very productive, a great meeting with DEP. Why are we having to twist their arms up around behind their backs to get them to come out to the west end of the county to address what's going on out there? Section 127 of the Constitution of Pennsylvania, subsection 27, Natural Resources and Public Estate. The people have a right to clean air, pure water, and the preservation of the natural, scenic, historic, and aesthetic values of the environment. The Pennsylvania Clean Streams Act, Act 394 of 1937, provides for the preservation and improvement of the purity of the waters of the Commonwealth to protect public health, animal and aquatic life, and the use of the waters. Our residents in the vicinity of the Brads and CES landfills, Liberty Soils, Blackwood, and the West End, who are suffering from NSP and their lack of adequate processing of biosolids, sewage sludge, human, you know what, let's call it what it is. Are they having their rights observed? I think not. A little over 1 year ago, on September 4th of 2023, I had a meeting with State Senator Dave Argel in his office. I asked him to please carve out, because at that point NSP had already been fined around $50,000 because of their lack of odor control out in the west end of the county. And I asked him to approach DEP to see about having some of that $50,000, instead of it just going into the coffers of DEP, let's set aside some of that money to have soil, air, and water testing done for the homeowners who are affected out in that neck of the woods. Where do we stand? This is over a year later, and as far as I know, I don't think any of the homeowners out there have been approached to say, we'll come in and do some soil, air, and water testing for you. Dave Argel.
3 minutes. But DEP, you know this, and we've talked about this numerous times. Whose jurisdiction is it to control all this stuff? DEP and Harrisburg.
Why are they dragging their feet?
I don't work. If I was governor, it would be taken care of. But I am not. If I was the head of DEP,
okay, so all right, Governor Shapiro
so
is.
That's right. It is Harrisburg. The county commissioners are doing all we can. We got them to finally agree this meeting. We're probably going to do it at I think we're looking at the Tremont School to make sure we have enough seating, or the fire company to have enough seating.
I would suggest a fire company, because they could probably use
a good. They could fit.
The fire companies, I mean, Joliet Fire Company would be a great location, and I guarantee you, they would appreciate the donation.
So we're just looking at where to have it that we can fit the most people in, and we're gonna, it's your guy, it's the people's meetings out there. I'm gonna ask some questions just as a county of some questions that I have that I wanna answer, but this is for the people out there to ask questions. And then we made that clear to DEP when we were on the call with them, and we wanna make sure that they're there to answer you. So we set this meeting up, the county commissioners did, and we have no authority to make them do anything. At least we got them to do that. And we're gonna keep looking at every avenue we possibly can for the west end of the county. And Brad's landfill, all three commissioners signed a letter opposing their expansion for the Brad's landfill.
Thank you for that. We do appreciate,
So
as
we
county
are
commissioners,
trying
everything
as
that
much
you're
as we
doing.
possibly can for these people out there.
Not only did we sign the letter opposing an expansion, we also asked that they do more work to
Control the smell.
I mean, I drove up one day from St. Clair to go to Mountain Valley to a reception, and I smelled it. And the three of us, our letter says we're against expansion. We want the DEP to make sure currently operates and controls the odor.
The
So
odor,
we
yeah.
did send a formal letter.
So we're doing all that we possibly can as.
And as far as the meeting, DEP told us last week, and then we asked them, give us a time frame.
Yeah,
Not just
in
say to
December.
wait, and he said, I think it was 2 weeks, he said.
Yeah.
Okay, who was it you talked to?
John Bajowski, who's the head of the, Wilkes-Barre.
There was like
There was like 4 or 5.
Four or
of them.
five representatives from DEP.
We said sooner not later, we wanted, yeah, they said 2 to 3
Roger
weeks.
Bellis,
They get back to us. Yeah, Roger Bellis is on.
and then there was technicians. Yeah, Bellis was on.
Anything that you could do, we would appreciate it, because I'm telling you what, Dave Argel has held elected office. Next year, it will be he will mark his 40-year anniversary that he has held political office, either as state rep or state
We
senator.
don't control that.
And
The
where's
people-
the beef?
Okay, no,
Where's
hold
the beef? We're
Hold
still
on.
waiting for it.
We have no control over that, and the people elected.
You guys could put a little.
We couldn't
we're-
stop somebody from running from office and getting elected to office. Like, we can't stop Dave Argel.
You
from
don't know
running
Dave
for office.
Argel.
No,
You
I
can't
know
put
Dave
some
Argel.
pressure on him.
Well, Dave has been helping.
He's a
us so much.
Republican, right? What are you, Larry? Republican,
And-
right?
no,
What are
hold
you,
on.
Boots?
What is the governor of this state and the DEP secretary? What are they? Since you want to say that, what are they? Go ahead.
They're Democrat.
That's right, and you know what? Do you see
So
how much
they're,
they- do you
that's
see
why
how
they're
much
not
they
getting
care?
back to you.
Do you see how much
That's
they
why
care?
they're not getting
Well,
back to you.
Sometimes I wonder if that's what it is, because we're a Republican county. So let's move on with public comment.
Can I speak for a minute?
Yeah, you don't have to go, no, hold on, Tammy's coming up, so hold on,
I just have one,
hold on.
Go ahead.
So,
I came because there was a Facebook post, and there was probably 1,500 people that went through it, liked it, commented on it. I live in Pine Grove, retired Sergeant Major, I grew up here, spent 30 years in the Army, came back here, and I see that we look like New York City's dumpster right now. I like what you guys, what the gentlemen have said about the letter that you've signed endorsing that. How can we get that more open so we can push that out onto the internet and get the groundswell that's there
honestly, to put pressure,
into this?
put pressure at Harrisburg.
But
I'm
the
sorry.
letter that we've signed, sir,
There's a complaint.
how do we get that,
There's a
how can we
complaint
put that
number.
letter out?
There's a
Where's it at?
complaint, there's a complaint number,
And a phone,
and
for Wilkes-Barre.
for Wilkes-Barre, and then emails, the governor's office, they have DEP.
The letter that you guys have signed,
Oh, no, he's not asking.
how
for
do we
a
get that
copy.
letter out?
To who, the people?
He'd like a copy of
Oh,
the letter.
okay, I can't, yeah, we can get that.
That's all,
That's
that's
public.
fantastic.
That's public knowledge, it's public
I know
record.
it's public.
But it's public record, don't you say?
Sometimes we're getting it out there,
Okay,
that's part of the problem.
yeah, okay, we can get it to you,
I'd love to have that letter,
okay,
that'd be great.
okay.
How do we?
I'll have to get it, Just keep- well, at the end of the meeting, give me your
I thank you for your.
information, give me your information before you leave, okay? Because it's public knowledge. Okay, go ahead, Tim. Are you done?
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Tammy Salzman from Good Spring. First off, I want you all to know we woke up this morning with stench that you could have cried from. Now, you're saying, he made a good point. Can't we get copies of this stuff you're saying you submit and all, that I can post them on the Save West End page? I mean, that would help public relations. Also, you have this meeting tonight. They're also having a planning meeting tonight. Now, can I get a copy of their agenda and see on video what they're talking about?
It's posted online.
It's all posted online, their agenda and everything.
Yeah, well, why would you have a meeting when it's the same as them?
Because before they had 2 meetings a year, I added 2 extra, and the reason we did this at the same time is because the sheriff and security and everything is here this night. So that's why we decided to have one say, and no, I had no consideration of them having a zoning meeting at the same
Well,
time.
that
It was because of security and paying the staff to be here.
That brings me to another thing. Why are we only doing a few evening meetings a year? That's ridiculous. People that work, look how many people are here and it's at the evening. You have the power to change this. And you're dragging your feet on it. Once a month would not hurt. Yeah, Larry, you did put a few more in.
Yes?
But once a month would not kill any 3 of yous. It wouldn't hurt any of yous. On the thing with DEP and all, we talk to them all the time. They know us by heart. I talked to Bellis a lot. He said you can put more pressure on the state too. And it's not Democrat and Republican, just stop that dumbness.
It's about for the people of the west end of the county, and for everything, it's for the people of the county. It's not supposed to be, I'm a Republican and Governor Shapiro's a Democrat, but that's what's said to me. If he and Boone's a Republican, that's what I'm gonna say then.
Well, I'm a Democrat,
Yeah,
so,
and you and I talk all the time.
yeah, I know. You gotta agree to disagree.
Yep.
At least you ain't eating cats. But no, I think you should at least have one evening meeting a month. It won't hurt any of yous, and it would help. Look at all these people. All right, thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comment? Okay, we move on to meeting then. Can I have a motion to approve the minutes? Oh, I'm sorry, one more. Oh, sorry. I didn't see stand up, sorry. You can walk down this way. You don't have to go to one thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Take on this one. That's fine.
I'm Wendy Maidenford. I live out in the west end of the county. The dumping grounds for fly ash, sewage sludge, paper pulp mill sludge, industrial sludge, etc. I have to just say about what Tammy said. We had stench this morning. We called our complaint in. We get tired of it like everybody else, but I just want to encourage everyone to keep calling and calling every time you smell it. Friday morning, we were going to have a yard sale, my daughter and I. Well, we didn't put our stuff out right away because guess what? We had stench. Now this is what we have living out there. You know our quality of life is really, it's terrible. We have no quality of life. I've said it numerous times before. But another thing I wanted to say, it's sad to say, but it seems like Schuylkill County does. I mean, we do produce waste, we produce garbage. But why are we taking New York, New Jersey's waste? I did a lot of research, and it says that sometimes some of our waste goes over a state line too. I know, I've read that. But do you really know what Natural Soil Products takes in from the county, the sludge, and like even from the county and from like PA, period? How much? You don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, we asked that, and we didn't get the question answered.
Does DEP have that information?
They should, we asked that, and that's one of the
'Cause now-
questions that I have for, when we have this meeting.
I went online and I got a customer list for biosolids. It's from the Tully Construction Company Incorporated site. And I see from Pennsylvania, it only states that Pottsville and Schuylkill Haven, they're customers for natural soil products. So those are the only two from Pennsylvania. The rest are from New York. The majority are from New York and one from Connecticut. I have it right here. So if you'd like to look at it, that's all I have.
Any other public comment? Go ahead, Shirley. You can do it from there, Shirley. No, she'll give you,
I only have one question. Shirley Wagner, Porter Township, and Wendy took care of some of them, so it is Schuylkill Haven and Pottsville that we have found out that is taking their sludge out to NSP.
Okay.
My question to you, since you have gone on record opposing Brad's landfill expansion, do you have any decision that you have made about CES's landfill? The expansion for there?
no, I haven't made a decision on that.
Does the county get a host fee from Brad's?
No.
So, okay.
Because in the past, when Brad's was all getting worked on and being constructed, the county opposed it at that time, from day one. And I wasn't on the board even back then, so it's even going before me, that I came on board, that it was in opposition.
And when you oppose them, the host fees are, they don't offer a host fee when the
Okay,
county
so-
opposes them.
I'm going to say it's safe to assume you will not go against CES for an expansion because the county gets $3 per ton and they're taking in roughly 2,500 ton a day. So that's a nice chunk of change that's coming into the county.
And most of the county's garbage goes to that landfill.
And how much of that is, Larry? How much does the county generate? 465 ton, and they're taking in
About 500 ton.
2,500?
You
Come on.
can't, Shirley, you can't stop interstate commerce. Like I said, once again,
I'm
once
so
again,
sick of
what I'm
hearing
saying,
argument.
what I'm saying, it's
Okay.
a state issue. And we're trying, and we're in opposition. All three commissioners have said, we have enough dumps in Schuylkill County for our
Okay, but
needs.
you have gone on record opposing grants and the possibility of what Liberty Soil might, but yet you won't take a stand on the CES expansion. Because of the, in my
There's nothing-
opinion, the money that's coming in on a daily basis.
No, that's not why.
Well, then why, can you give me a reason?
Well, me and you talked about this, Shirley, already. If we don't have a place, we're doing our solid waste plan now.
10-year plan.
A 10-year plan. The expansion of that landfill that's already in existence, that's working, that you say you actually have a good relationship with, and when you call them, they answer your questions and everything. By them being in operation, that keeps other landfills out. So if you don't have a 10-year plan and you don't have the space for your thing, that opens the door for other companies to come in with new landfills.
Okay, do you know?
So, but am I correct? You told me you have a good relationship with them.
When I called them because I don't wanna go through the rumor mill.
And they take care
I
of it.
call them, they give me the answers. Okay, how many cells does CES have currently now developed that they don't have a drop of anything in them?
I'm not sure, we didn't see their official plans. So.
Well, maybe you should call them and ask them how many cells are available.
Okay.
And as far as Brad's, how come they're getting an odor if that's just supposed to be construction and demolition? I'm confused on that.
When drywall rots, it makes it a hydrogen sulfide, which is
I know drywall rots, but they shouldn't be getting any kind of methane.
no, it's hydrogen sulfide.
We're getting methane as
No,
well.
there's methane as well.
There's methane detected. We
Okay.
had the EPA.
But like I said,
Yeah.
we're on record opposing their expansion. We're on record as saying that we think Schuylkill County has enough landfills to meet our capacity for the county. And that's my statement on it. The other commissioners agree with me on that right now.
And meanwhile, the residents of the West End can't open our windows. We live in stench day in and day out. Those girls more so than me because I'm a different wind direction. I can tell when they're going to get it. I look at the cogen plant and whichever way the steam's blowing, I know they're gonna get it or I'm gonna get it.
Okay.
But thank you.
Thank you, Shirley. Is there any other public comment before I move on to the meeting? Could I have a motion to approve the minutes for the commissioners' meeting of August 28th?
So moved, Chairman.
Second?
On the question?
Commissioner Fedora?
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington?
Yes.
Commissioner Hess?
Yes.
Could I have a motion to approve the minutes from the work session of September 4th?
So moved.
Second?
On the question?
Commissioner Fedora?
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington?
Yes.
Commissioner Hess?
Yes.
Could I have a motion to approve what was presented by the Agricultural Conservation?
So moved.
Second?
On the question?
Commissioner Fedora?
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington?
Yes.
Commissioner Hess?
Yes.
Could I have a motion to approve the 9 items on the agenda presented by Children and Youth in the work session?
I'll make that motion, Chairman.
Second?
On the question?
Commissioner Fedora?
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington?
Yes.
Commissioner Hess?
Yes.
Could I have a motion to approve what was presented by the grant writer's office?
So moved.
Second?
On the question?
Commissioner Fedora?
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington?
Yes.
Commissioner Hess?
Yes.
Paul Boomer?
Commissioners, good evening. This evening, I'd like to mention that there's 5 budget adjustments that appear on the Commissioner's agenda. And these 5 budget adjustments were posted outside the board.
Can I have a motion that was presented by the county administrator for new business on behalf of the tax assessment bureau?
I'll make the motion on behalf of tax assessment.
Second?
On the question?
Commissioner Fedora?
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington?
Yes.
Commissioner Hess?
Yes.
Human Resources?
Yes, good evening, Commissioners. In the prison, we have the appointment of Xavier Jones, Correction Officer, full-time. The rate is 23.0730, effective 9/16/24. The rate's part of the contract. In Emergency Management, the appointment of Nicholas Kristen, Planning Specialist. The rate is 45,000, effective 10/7/24. In Parks and Recreation, the appointment of Robert Heaps, Parks and Recreation Supervisor. The rate is 25.5495, effective 9/16/24. In Drug and Alcohol, the appointment of Soraya Brown, DNA Case Management Specialist. The rate is 18.7945, effective 9/16/24. In children and youth, 2 items, the promotion of Juanita Shinkus, County Caseworker 2, the rate is 22.3836, effective 10/7/24. The rate is per the contract. And also in children and youth, the appointment of Dana Allen as a clerk typist 2, the rate is 16.1825, effective 10/7/24, rate per contract. In tax assessment, the transfer of Lisa Wright, administrative assessor, the rate is 14.9945, effective date 9/23/24. In 911, we have 2 promotions. Adam Burke to senior level 1 telecommunicator, the rate is $24, effective 9/9/24. And the promotion of Savannah Lindenmuth, telecommunicator level 2, the rate is 21.50, effective 9/9/24. Both those moves are per the contract. We have 1 informational item in court administration, the transfer of Brittany Nelson to judicial secretary, effective 9/23/24. That is all.
I have a motion for what was presented by the Human Resource Officer.
Second.
Any question?
Commissioner Fedora?
Yes.
Commissioner Harrington?
Yes.
And Commissioner Hess?
Yes.
Can I have a motion to adjourn? Salary board, report of any executive sessions?
There were none held.
Public comment for salary board?
Jeff Dunkel, Palo Alto. I see this whole thing with the union issue here. I see the transparency still piss poor for, it's been years now. You just vote on something, you just don't notify the union, then they come in and have to have a last minute meeting. He's already voted on 90% of it to go through. Just amazing, the transparency in this place is unbelievable. And good luck getting a copy of that letter, because you're probably gonna have to put a right to know request in, get a 30-day denial, and then sometimes that's just me though.
I said meet him afterward.
Okay, we'll see if you get it. That'll show me a lot then. But one way, you know, like she had mentioned about fixing the tax office, you just could have done this for 3 years, is to pay people more. I encourage everybody to go out and look at those things that are hanging out there in the hallway. And I know what you're saying about union contracts and everything. Nobody can live off of $12.14 an hour, $13 an hour. I mean, you're talking $25,000 a year. You can't afford to live off of that. I just seen an article today that Aldi's is up in their rates now before the holidays, $18 to $23 an hour to start. You can't live off of that. So, I mean, and talking about getting new management, and you know, if they're wanting this, give it a run for a year or two. Let's see if we can get it back in shape. Obviously, you guys all seen the mountains of paperwork that were in that office. It was a disaster. So the previous person that ran it, Boots, you're on record stating in multiple emails, you're doing a great job. Help's on the way. Keep up the great work. It's a disaster. Now look at the situation we're in. Now you just have to outsource it. Then you just want to hide that they're getting money from fees. Just answer the question. Yes, they're getting the fee money that we should be getting. So the county's essentially losing money. I mean, it's not that hard to answer questions, but she ran it into the ground, and now we're paying the price. So whether it's taken over for a year or two, let it go. But also nepotism. I see we're going to appoint somebody, or you appointed somebody tonight for, that was a co-chair on at least one election campaign. And Larry, we discussed what nepotism was. Nepotism, according to the legal definition, is workplace favoritism due to relational contact rather than job performance. Practice among those with power, favoring relatives, friends, or associates, especially with giving them jobs. That's been done a handful of times since you took office. And I'm still waiting for the job that you promised me. There wouldn't be any nepotism. There wouldn't be any nepotism there because we were opponents. Hang on. No, I was promised one specific one. There would be no nepotism there because we were opponents during the election. And I think after last week when you flipped out, I don't think we're friends after last week. So, but I appreciate you looking into that. Thank you.
Any other comment for salary board?
Melinda Diver, North Manheim Township. We have heard that NSP is self-reporting to DEP. Self-reporting their tonnage and their testing results. What good is that? That's the fox watching the hen house. That's insane. Approximately 1 month ago, Mr. Mike Miller had his 16-acre parcel contaminated by sewage sludge that Mr. Frank Cromas had spread on a 20-acre parcel that was just above Mr. Miller's parcel. Did we ever find out whether Frank Cromas possessed all the necessary permits that he should have had? He should have had a soil conservation plan on file and approved by DEP. Did we ever find out whether he had that?
DEP didn't say he had to have it.
Oh, yes, he does. To be a...
DEP says, listen, once again, I am not DEP. I am not the governor of the state. I am not in charge of DEP. Mike Miller, or Mr. Miller, had a meeting with DEP at Senator Arnold's office, and he retained an attorney.
Oh, so then they didn't want to talk to him about that.
They are providing him with information and that his attorney requested. So he has legal representation and the stuff is moving forward for him.
So you didn't attend that meeting?
I was at that meeting, I listened to everything they said, but they weren't happy.
Okay, so DEP said he did not,
They said.
Frank Cromas did not have to have a soil conservation plan. That is incorrect.
No, I don't work for DEP. They said he has to have one that he has if he's requested for it. But that's what DEP said. If it's under a certain amount of acres.
Oh, I can't wait to look into this tomorrow. Thanks for that, Larry. I can't, oh, thanks. Thank you for that. Okay, did he have an ENS permit through the conservation district?
For the timbering or for the spraying?
You have to have an ENS permit when you do the timbering. Did he have that?
Under 25 acres or less, they don't have to.
He has to have one.
He has to have one available.
Available if it's requested.
DEP requires, DEP, not the county, requires that he has to have one on record. If somebody goes and asks him for it, if DEP comes and asks him, he has to present it.
Mr. Miller had raw sewage sludge
Yes,
on
ma'am.
his 16 acres.
Yes,
Frank Cromas would have had to have been required to have presented an erosion and sediment control plan because of that devastation. Yes, he would have. Okay, thanks for that. So it looks like he didn't have that either. And according to the test results that Mike Miller received, it was raw sewage
Melinda, are you
sludge.
speaking on behalf of Mike Miller? Because he is not here, and he has retained a lawyer to handle his situation.
Mr. Miller has already put his stuff out there. So you know what? It's in the public venue. And if you have a problem with me bringing it up,
Not at all, but Mr.
Okay,
Miller
good.
is not here to defend himself or answer
it's
questions.
in the public venue. Once it's out there, if he didn't want it out there, he wouldn't have put it out there.
Thank you, Melinda. Let's move on. Any other public comment for salary board? Before we move forward? Can I have a motion to approve the salary board meeting minutes of August 28th?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
One question?
Commissioner Fedora?
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington?
Yes.
Commissioner Hess?
Yes.
First Deputy Controller Pacetta?
Yes.
Can I have a motion to approve the salary board work session on September 4th minutes?
So moved.
Second.
On the question?
Commissioner Fedora?
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington?
Yes.
Commissioner Hess?
Yes.
First Deputy Controller Pacetta?
Yes.
Human resources, personnel action.
Yes, Commissioners, in emergency management, set salary for Nicholas Kristen, planning specialist, rate is $45,000, effective 10/7/24. In Parks and Recreation, set salary for Robert Heaps, Parks and Recreation Supervisor, the rate is $25.5495, effective 9/16/24. In Drug and Alcohol, set salary for Soraya Brown, DNA Case Management Specialist, the rate is $18.7945, effective 9/16/24. In tax assessment, set salary for Lisa Wright, Administrative Assessor, the rate is $14.9945, effective 9/23/24. In court administration, set salary for Brittany Melson, Judicial Secretary, the rate is $18.2808, effective 9/23/24. And in the public defender, create the position of Secretary 1, part-time, and that's effective 9/16/24. And also in public defender, create the position public defender part-time, also effective 9/16/24.
I'm gonna clump these together. The first couple we can clump together. So can I have a motion for the emergency management, parks and recreations, drug and alcohol, and tax assessment?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
On the question?
Commissioner Fedora?
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington?
Yes.
Commissioner Hess?
Yes.
First Deputy Controller Pacetta?
Yes.
Can I have a motion then for the court administration?
I'll make that motion.
Second?
On the question?
Commissioner Fedora,
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington,
Yes.
Commissioner Hess,
Yes.
First Deputy Controller Pacenta,
Yes.
and Judge Russell.
Then can I have a motion for the two public defender positions?
So moved, sir.
Second?
On the question?
Commissioner Fedora,
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington,
Yes.
Commissioner Hess,
Yes.
First Deputy Controller Pacenta,
Yes.
and Public Defender Domolakis.
Yes.
Okay, is there any new business? Or a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Move on to retirement board, report of any executive session held.
There were none.
Any public comment for retirement?
I don't know. I know you're looking at me.
Can I have a motion to approve the monthly meeting minutes on August 14th?
So moved.
Second?
Question?
Commissioner Fedora,
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington,
Yes.
Commissioner Hess,
Yes.
First Deputy Controller Pacenta,
Yes.
Deputy Treasurer.
Can I have a motion to approve the controller's report? Oh, you have to do it, sorry. I'm ahead of myself. Sandy, didn't take long.
Good evening. During the month of August 2024, one member received a retirement of $271,537 with a pro rata payment of $1,848. 4 members received refunds of $52,989. One beneficiary will receive a continued monthly payment of $1,003 with a pro rata payment of $420. One deceased retiree received a pro rata payment of $582. The market value of the retirement fund as of August 31st, 2024 was $170,037,715. The total market value of the retirement fund as of September 11th, 2024 is $166,086,617. And also Drew Klein has requested to vest his pension. Thank you.
Have a motion to approve the controller's report?
So moved.
Second?
The question?
Commissioner Fedora,
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington,
Yes.
Commissioner Hess,
Yes.
First Deputy Controller Pacenta,
Yes.
Deputy Treasurer.
Any new business? Have a motion to